Good morning, and thank you for being with us today. Please join me in our opening prayer. The energy of love is within us and is us. Whole and complete is the I am that we are. We awaken to the truth of our being. We will this be done within and without. May we come to recognize that we receive all that we give. And we know we have forgiven ourselves when we forgive others of all grievances held within our minds. May we not be led into temptation by the voice of separation, but instead may we transcend all illusions. For ours is the power, peace, and love of Christ consciousness found within each of us, who is but the perfect extension of the one mind and heart that is shared by all and is our birthright as the holy extensions of love itself. And our affirmation of faith: we believe in one God, the author and energy of all life, whose love sustains the universe and all things found within it. And our 5 Christ principles. 1. There is only one energy in the universe. That energy is love, at all times active in everyone, everywhere. 2. We are the divine energy of love, and that energy is found throughout the universe and in all things, whether seen or unseen. 3. We create our experiences by what we choose to think, feel, and believe, thereby establishing our responsibility for our own choices. 4. Through opening our heart center, we connect with the energy of love and bring out the Christ within us. And 5. We express our desire to be of service when we live and demonstrate Christ consciousness in all our affairs.
Thank you, Marvin. Thank you, Miss Penny. And welcome to each and every one of you who are here this morning. To those who are watching, hi, Regina. Hi, Misha. Hi, Jim. And everyone else watching. I know I had heard their names pop up. And welcome to all of those who will watch later in the week. I'm going to start with something first. If you are a fundamentalist, an evangelical, or a literalist, please scroll. Just keep scrolling. But if you are truly ready to live the truth of your being, then I call you to stay and hear what we're going to discuss this morning. I've titled this talk, "The Thief in the Night." It's not who or what you think at all. Alright? I think when most people hear Matthew 24:43, they just interpret it kind of literal. Some may even think that it's the devil, alright? But Matthew 24:43 says, "But know this, if the master of the house knew at what part of the night the thief was coming, he would have remained awake and not let his house be broken into." Well, that makes sense. I give it to Jesus. That makes perfect sense if you take it on face value. But, Jesus never really said anything at face value. Thank you. All right? So what was he saying? Most people, of course, think of thief. be alert, be cognizant. Some people think the thief he was referring to as the devil. Well, it might be the devil, small d, not capital D. All right? And here's what I want you to recognize. Boy, does that one verse have so much hidden in it, and most people are unaware. And by the way, I hope everybody's strapped in. Because this is not something that we like to look at. But this is what the verse is actually about. First of all, let's look at the verse. But know this. Oh, okay, that makes sense. But know this. Right? Know this. If the master of the house. So let's look at if the master of the house. Well, most people think that's the head of the household. Well, everything's not as it appears, right? If you look up the word house, you will discover that the word house means domicile, coming from both the Greek and the Latin domus, which also means dome, which when you look up the word dome means head. And the word head, if you look it up, says mind. So, let's look back at the verse. But know this. The master of the house is one who has mastery over his mind. So the master of the house is referring to one who has mastery over his or her mind. Now, this is what is so fascinating. One who has mastery over his mind is the literal English definition for the Latin word sanus, which is where we get the word sane or sanity. Okay? So one who has mastery over his mind is someone who's sane, understands, has mastery over his thoughts and feelings. But, what do we call someone who's not sane? We say they're insane. Here's where it gets really cool and interesting. The word insane, you look it up, and it says mad. Look up the word mad, it says anger. Look up the anger, rage. Ooh, so insanity deals with anger, rage. But let's go back to the verse. If you knew at what one who has mastery over his mind, at what hour of the night the thief is coming, he would have remained awake, right? And not let his house be broken into. Well, here's where it gets really interesting. The word thief. I look it up. One who commits thievery. Cool. Thievery comes from comes from the verb to thieve, to rob or steal. To steal is to literally defined as to take by violence. Look up the word violence, and it's to be enraged. To take by force, to be enraged, to be enraged. So the thief that Jesus was speaking about was anger. Ooh. So not something outside of us coming, it's anger. Anger is the thief. And anger will rob you of everything good and holy within your mind. It will take everything you give it. And because of what it is, it will give you nothing but conflict in return. So one who has mastery over his mind knows when anger is arising within him or her, and will not become disturbed. How often, though, do any one of you here or watching, before you know it, you're angry? Well, we missed it. But boom, you're angry. Well, you didn't catch it. If you didn't catch it, it means that you didn't have mastery over your mind at that moment. Which means if you don't have mastery over your mind, that throws you back to being insane. So in that moment, you are insane. How many times have you heard on the news they committed some act of violence because they were in a fit of rage, white rage. They weren't thinking. Their mind wasn't clear. That's insanity. Every time that you become angry, you are playing in insanity. You are literally playing in not having mastery. Because truly, one who has mastery over their mind feels anger arising within them before it ever takes hold. And they cast it out. That takes work, guys. That takes a lot of work. Because how quickly can someone say something and we're angry? How quickly can someone, what we think, hurt our feelings and we're angry? How often do we get angry with ourselves when we think, oh, I could have done this better. I should have said this. And we start beating ourselves up. We become angry with our own selves. That is insanity. That's insanity. And it will always lead to conflict. It will lead to inner conflict, which ultimately we will experience in the outer. Nothing escapes us. Yet within that verse, Jesus said, if the master of the house would have remained awakened, would have remained awake, he would have known. If he would have remained awake, which means the master of the house must have been sleeping. And that takes on a whole new range. Jesus wasn't talking about sleep at night. He was talking about insanity. The sleep that is insanity. For if you do not have mastery over your mind, you are asleep at the wheel. You are asleep at the wheel. Somebody else is driving, because it's not you. The question is, who's driving? Who's driving, y'all? I'm being serious. Who's driving? It's not you. You're subconscious because you're on autopilot. You are completely unaware. That's what to be awake means, to be in awareness. To be asleep means to be in unawareness. Unconscious. You're not thinking. You're not even there. So when you are angry, yes, you're playing in insanity, but better yet, I want you to think about, you're not even present. You're asleep. Your mind is obviously, and you're playing in unawareness. And by the way, there's an old saying, it goes like this. When playing in unawareness, we are predictable. When we play in unawareness, we are predictable. It's why when you get angry, everybody knows what you're going to do, what you're going to say, how you're going to act, because you are predictable. And at that moment, you are controllable. So there's another saying, he that angers me controls me. No one can anger me. This is where true mastery of the mind comes from. No one can anger me. I have to let them. I have to give my power away, and I have to allow myself to become angry. Most of you may be listening to this, sitting out there going, I don't allow myself to become angry, I just become angry. On a subconscious level, because you're not playing in the mastery that is yours, that is all of ours. You are playing in insanity, and therefore you will be unaware. And because of that, you will be controllable. So again, hidden within that one Bible verse is you are responsible. You're like, where's that in there? It's simple. But know this. He that has mastery over his mind will remain awake and not be disturbed by anything out there. That's mastery. That is remaining cognizant. That's remaining within the boundaries of what is called sanity. Because it's rooted in total responsibility. When you become angry, and we all do occasionally, but when we become angry, we are claiming that we are not responsible. Someone else did something to us. We get to claim it and be a victim. If you look at the verse, the way Jesus said it, he was talking about victimhood. Right? But know this, if the master of the house knew at what hour or what part of the night the thief was coming, he would have remained awake and not let his house be broken into. Well, the master of the house is about to get robbed, right? And is a victim. But if you have mastery over your mind, you cannot be a victim. And if you cannot be a victim, you will not blame, and you therefore will not experience anger. So someone who has mastery over his mind or her mind, here's the clue, doesn't have to watch or be wary of anger arising within him or her. Because the master of the house, one with mastery over his or her mind, stays in total responsibility, recognizing at all times, I am responsible. They are responsible for everything they think, feel, believe, thus experience. That's mastery. True mastery is to recognize total responsibility. And that, guys, is the hardest thing for any of us to do. That is what that one tiny little verse was asking us to do. Remain responsible. Always. To remain responsible is to have mastery, which is to be awake. Period. Boy, there's a whole lot of stuff crammed in that little verse. and most people miss it. I had a mentor one time, and I will close with this. Told me, don't just read or listen to each verse in the Bible. You'll remain blind, no pun intended, right? Feel it. Dig into that verse. What was the great master trying to share with us? Because it's there. And it's in layers. Keep digging and you will discover more in each and every thing that Jesus said. There is no end to the Christ. There's no end to Jesus. And there is no end to what gifts he was giving us, even within something that's 2,000 years old. The Bible, the New Testament, and what he said. Dig deep. Dig deep. And keep digging. And you will discover more and more. Because as more of the scales are removed from your eyes and the wax removed from your ears, you will hear more of the Christ within you. Sharing truth. Sharing love. So that you can be as he is. And that's where I will end today. Be where he is. And that is to be awake, to have mastery over your mind, and to never claim victimhood and recognize responsibility in all things, all thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Thank you for joining. And now, Marvin is going to play more for us. Again, Marvin, thank you. All right, guys, we come to the time of the service where just for a moment we become quiet. We let our mind become still. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. Place both feet on the floor. Let the tension go. Wherever there's tension in your body, just for a moment, let it go. You can go pick it back up. It's yours. But for this moment, just release it. And let's take 3 deep breaths together. On the inhale, silently think, I am. And on the exhale, one who has mastery over his mind. On the inhale, I am. And on the exhale, responsible for all I think, feel, and believe. On the inhale, I am. Love. On the exhale, I am love. For that is what we are. Sit in the silence for just a moment and feel what you are. Feel the love. that you are. As we bring our conscious awareness back into this time, this place, this moment, recognize as you go through the week, ask yourself, am I showing mastery of the mind? Or am I prey to outside forces? No. Show mastery. Show responsibility. Show who and what you are. That is what I hope you each take into this week. Mastery. Thank you. All right. Thank you for being here, everyone. Thank you for those who are watching and those who will watch later. As we come to the end of the service, I ask, if you would like, to silently say with me our closing prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. We give and receive in love. Amen. Have a good one, everyone. See you next week.